This conference will now be recorded.
Hello all, good morning and good evening. Welcome back to today's session. So let us start today's session. So yeah, before starting the session, just let me know my voice is audible.
Yes,
Yes,
Manasa.
Mansa.
Okay, my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes, yes, Mansa.
Okay, thank you so much for your response. So let us start quickly start to this session. Okay. So today we'll learn more about Tosca. So how Tosca works. Uh, and what are the advantages of Tosca. So we'll dig deep dive more about Tosca and we'll get acquainted to few terminologies of Tosca when we actually start using the tool. So then maybe in the next sessions we can see one demo of one end to end, like I can show you the tool, how it works, how to create one small test case so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. So just a quick, we'll do just quick recap of yesterday's. So yesterday we have just understood what is manual testing, what is automation testing, what are the best automation tools in Tosca. Sorry, yeah, in 2023, like Tosca is one among them. And most frequently asked question that I face in every how this course will be helpful, all those stuff. And also, we have understood basics of Tosca. Like Tosca is a short form of topology and orchestration specific for cloud application. And we have seen some advantages and why to choose Tosca. And we also understood what are the different technologies that Tosca will support and what are the different features Tosca will support. Okay. So we have also understood what is the syllabus that we are covering here in this as a part of our course, and we have also seen how they are now converted to badges and all. So little more about what is being covered for AS1 and AS2. So today, as part of today's session, I'll take few more questions from you if you have any. So before that, we'll start today's session. So today we'll understand what is the significance of Tosca automation tool, why people have started using Tosca, what is the main reason for this. Okay, so first main reason being no need to write long scripts. Okay, so there is no need for you to write any scripts. So it's just simple drag and drop. So how is it drag and drop? How this works? I will explain it in today's class. And also tool is also loaded with lot of few features that we can use it and we can implement it for our test case creation according to our project requirement. Okay, so coming to the testing methodology, it will support any kind of testing methodology, be it waterfall model, be it agile model, be it mixed testing, hybrid model, like it is a combination of waterfall and agile model also Tosca will support. Okay, so why specifically I'm explaining about Agile is Agile mostly it's a continuous integration happens. So as it Tosca supports CI/CD integration, so it will also support Agile methodology. And coming to width of coverage, is 90% of coverage. I mean, 90% of your test cases can be automated. So previously, before Tosca has come into the picture, like if you have a set of 10 test cases, for example, so when you start reviewing them, like you can see each and every test case, and you will mark it. Okay, this is automatable. This is not automatable because of these challenges. So whatever the challenges that you might have marked, most of them are covered with Tosca tool. Okay, because it supports any kind of technology. Either it is API, either is Salesforce testing, either it is mobile testing, any kind of testing it will support. So width of coverage of your test cases is also more coming for Tosca tool. And I can say this is a very good thing I feel about excellent vendor support. Like wherever you are stuck, whatever you are stuck, you have lots and lots of resources in Presentis portal itself. You can go explore them, you can get lot and lot of knowledge from them, and you can use all of them for your better understanding. Okay, so the most important question that I get, so what is the system requirement it should be there for my system if I have to install Tosca. Okay, so this is a basic requirement that is needed. Most of the people will have these basic requirements like i5 dual core 2.4 gigahertz CPU and RAM of 8 GB, hard disk space. It will be good if it is more than 10 GB, but ideally 10 GB is needed, plus 1.5 GB on the system by for installer caching. So this is needed. And network, obviously, it will be more than 100 Mbps. So this is the basic requirement for you to install Tosca. Okay. So if you have any Mac systems, so currently for Mac, it is little harder to install a software because Tosca cannot directly be installed. So there is some workaround that we'll not be covering here as a part of our course. But apart from Mac, for any, I mean, normal Windows system, we will be helping you out for Tosca installations and all. Okay. So any questions here for system requirements? Okay, all right. So I take it as a no, and then move on to the next. Okay. So we have seen requirements. Okay. So most of the time, if you see, Tosca is compared to Selenium because Selenium being a free tool, Tosca is also an automation tool. Both are in the market on the same trend. So most of the time, whenever client comes, maybe your project is already using Selenium, so client wants to introduce Tosca, or you are already so you are starting to start a project. So automation in your project. So then the first comparison comes between Tosca and Selenium. Okay, so every tester, as being an automation tester, you should be aware of what is the differences between the Selenium and Tosca. Why to choose Tosca? Why, I mean, what are few advantages of Tosca? So we'll be seeing few differences of Selenium and Tosca in the next slides so that you will have better understanding. Suppose your client comes up to do a POC and asks you to demonstrate between Tosca tool and Selenium tool, you can quickly take out this information and tell, okay, so these are the advantages of being Tosca. So you can suggest Tosca as your automation tool for your next proceedings, so that client will be much impressed with what all the knowledge that you will share. Okay, so these are the differences. So if you see, so there are different criteria that we have to, and Tosca being the highest priority and Selenium being the next priority. So we have categorized our differences here. Okay. So first, taking a type of application, Tosca, yesterday I've already covered that Tosca supports almost all types of applications, like 150 plus enterprise applications. Specifically to tell about enterprise, it is 150 plus it will handle. So being it database, being it ABI, SOA, any kind of application it will support, but Selenium has that restriction, so it only supports web application. So this is one major thing why large scale application, whoever is using large scale applications, right, like or banking applications and all, so they come forward to use this Tosca tool because it can do. So if you are into a banking project, you might be in a day in day out, you will be seeing a black screen. Okay, something like the command prompt that we see in our here in our local Windows machine. So in banking applications, you will be using this black screen more to get all the information. So this black screen also can be automated with Tosca. So that is why most of the banking applications, if you see, they prefer Tosca more than any other. So coming to the next, it is a paid tool or a free tool. Even Tosca being a paid tool, it has its reasonable charges, but with lots of support. So that is why Tosca is also coming up with more and more opportunities. So Tosca is a licensed software to be precise, but even after a license, client is going to prefer Tosca only more than Selenium. Selenium is a free paid and open source application. If you also want to install, you can directly go into the Google, download it and install it. But for Tosca, there is a process that you have to follow to install it. Okay. So, what is the automation type, or what kind of automation you do in Tosca? It is model-based automation. We'll be discussing more about this model-based automation in the next coming slides. But for now, you just have to understand Tosca is a model-based automation. Selenium is a code-based automation. That means you have to write some code here and then only you can run your Selenium scripts. In Tosca, you have to prepare the model. So how do you prepare the model? All those things we will be discussing. Scripting. Scripting is not at all required for Tosca. So if you are from BA background, you can shift to Tosca. If you are from manual testing, you can shift to Tosca. If even if you are into Selenium but you are not that much interested in writing a code, you can shift to Tosca. Likewise, there are many things. So scripting has become is not required for Tosca, but for Selenium, yes, they use a lot of different scripts like JavaScript or Python script or C Sharp. You have to have any one of the scripting knowledge. Only then you can write your code in Selenium. API testing, yes, API testing, automation of API testing is possible with Tosca, whereas it is not feasible with Selenium. Test data management, yes, it supports multiple test data management. If you see in the tool itself, you have TDS server, you have test design sheets. With all these things, you can manage your test data inside the Tosca itself, like within the Tosca itself. And coming to the Selenium, it does not support test data management. So if you have to have a test data management with your Selenium tool, it is not possible. And coming to reusability of test case in Tosca, yes. In Tosca, whatever the test case that you write, it is highly reusable. Like once you write it, you can reuse it for n number of times also. Okay. And also there's a concept called library which helps us to make your test case reusable. Okay. So that is also covered as part of our syllabus. In Selenium, no. Reusability of test data or test cases, it is slow compared with Tosca. So coming to exploratory testing, yes, in Tosca you can do exploratory testing, but in Selenium it is not possible. So coming to CI integration, yes, you can support different CI integration tools like Jenkins. Dex is also one kind of CI tool which is supported from Tosca. But in Selenium supports most of the CI tools like Jenkins. Okay, so QC or Jira integration is possible with Tosca tool. With Selenium, you have to do it with a third party dependencies. Okay, so coming from support perspective, so I've been reiterating this. Recentis has a larger support from its perspective to make this tool more popular. So they have a special support team which will help us. So as an individual, okay, even if you are stuck with someone, you have a portal where support.recentis.com, you can log in there, you can lodge, you can see lot of information of wherever you're stuck. Okay, so just let me quickly open it and show it to you. Give me a moment. Is it suggested I can join this later as well? Okay, I'll take up the questions afterwards. Let me quickly open this. Okay. One second. Okay, so you're able to see the screen, right? So this is a support portal from Tricentis, okay? So here if you see you have latest announcements of what is new in you have. So you have lots and lots of knowledge base articles, okay? If you are stuck somewhere, you can just go here, you can search whatever is your issue. Maybe it is you are not able to disable a Chrome pop-up, you can just give you one word. So based on that word, if you see, there's a lot of information that is coming here in the Tricentis. Whereas if you go in the Google, you hardly get some information here. But for Selenium, whatever you have to get it on the Google itself. But here, Presentis has put this effort to create one support portal where you have lots and lots of information. So you have academy also where you can learn, you can do a self-based learning also here. Okay. So this is a very good part from Presentis. Okay. So even if you're stuck somewhere, you're not able to get any information and you're not, it is like high level down. You can both, you can lodge a complaint or you can lodge a ticket here so that they'll come back to you with a resolution. Okay, so they'll give you a resolution over here. So that kind of support we get it from Presentis. And Selenium is not supported by, yeah, I told you, right? You have to just go Google it and you have to get all those things in the Google itself. You don't have any support portal kind of thing. Okay. Framework. In Tosca, framework is already defined. So it is called model based framework. We'll be using the framework which is already designed. We are not creating any new framework here. Okay. But Selenium, whichever project you have to start a unique framework. Okay. So object library. Yeah, I told you, right? There's a concept called library where you can have large number of scripts and can be used. But in Selenium, it lacks, I mean, it doesn't have any particular repository where you can store large number of test cases. Reporting, yes, from Tosca itself, you can generate multiple reports like from your execution list. What is the execution status? You can generate a report from your requirements tab. You can generate a report for your required number of requirements. And coming to Selenium, so it doesn't have any inbuilt reporting system. You have to manually go prepare a report. Okay. So miscellaneous Tosca also supports SAP, all those things. Data warehouse testing, exploratory management also can be done with Tosca, but Selenium doesn't support SAP, or if you have to do any unit testing or test data management, all those things are not supported. Okay, coming to the speed of execution of creating a script, uh, Tosca is very faster than compared to any other tool like Selenium or any other tool. Okay, so these are the major differences that we could jot down between Tosca and Selenium, which gives a higher view of what is Tosca and how special is Tosca for us. Okay. Yeah. So the same point I be reiterating, like it's good in market, it is very easy to use, and all those things. We'll talk about few of the advantages before going to the disadvantages. Yeah, as every tool has its own advantages and disadvantages, Tosca also has some advantages. Tosca also has some disadvantages. Okay, so we'll talk about both of them now in the next coming slides. So till now, any questions and queries?
No, Manas.
Yeah, thanks Abhishek for your reply. Oh, so everyone is muted, Diksha. I'm not sure from where you are. Okay, Harshita, to answer your question, can I know for how many days you'll not be having your laptop? Harshita, you are there on the call? I don't see her. Okay, so let me take that question afterwards. Yeah, for a week it is manageable. I don't think it would create a problem. So it will be the starting stage, but once you get a laptop, you have to do some more effort and you have to complete all the exercises. Okay, for first week it won't be a problem for you. You can able to manage it. Okay, so coming to the advantages of Tosca, so it is a one-stop solution for all automation test steps. Like it's kind of a hypermarket. Okay, so hypermarket is a place where you go, you get clothing, you get food, you get snacks, ready-made snacks to eat. So all kind of one place you go, you get everything. So it's the same way Tosca is also like that. So it is an enterprise tool that works without scripting. Okay, so this is a major thing that has more demand because there are lots of people in the market who doesn't want to write code like me. Okay, I am one of them. I don't like to write lots and lots of code, but still I know coding. I love coding, but still I'm very lazy writing coding. Okay, so for such people, Tosca is very good. And it also helps testers to with management test tools, like you have to manage like Jira, ALM. You can integrate it. You can get all the stuff whatever you wanted with the help of Tosca itself. So it can also support GUI and non-GUI also. So there is no separate framework you have to use. It's already inbuilt. You just have to use the framework that is already there. And yeah, test data can be supported. Tricentis gives a best vendor support. So yeah, reduction in regression testing time from weeks to minutes. So previously it used to take many weeks to create your regression suite. But here, if you have to develop your regression suite with Tosca, I would say for 15 test cases, I hardly take half an hour of time. Okay, so even you can build a test case within like maximum to 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so one test case at the starting you can take 15 minutes, but later once you get acquainted, once you get used to the tool, it will take only 5 or 10 minutes to use the tool. Okay, 5 or 10 minutes for one test case. Okay, so this thing will be better. You will better understand more once you start once we start the practical. Okay. So coming to the next thing, disadvantages. As we have advantages, here we have jotted on some disadvantages also, because many of the people will also be interested knowing what are the disadvantages of Tosca. They also want to see the other side of the coin. So coming to that, yes, cost. Obviously, when it comes, it's not a free source. You have to buy it. So it's expensive compared to the open source tools. Whenever Selenium is a free tool rather than just going and downloading. Why you want to go and get this tool? Because of all its advantages. Community support. So like open source tool, if you go Selenium, if you're stuck with some there, here if I write, so write a code in for multiplication in Selenium. You get hundreds of articles like this, right? So, but for Tosca, if you type, you hardly get two or three. That too now, few people has come up with that. But previously, when I started with Tosca, I don't have any support from any of this Google. Okay, so I have to go manually read what all the manuals that I get for Tosca. I have to think, I have to use my brain, and only then. So that is a community. But now it is far better than how I started the tool. Okay, it's very much improved. You get a lot of articles in the support portal only. When I started, the support portal also has very few knowledge based articles. It was not. So now, if you see, there's like hundreds of articles you get for one thing you do it. Okay. So that is called community support. That is what it is mentioned here. So resource requirement, Tosca requires a little lot of resources like RAM, CPU, disk space to run, which might be constrained for smaller things. Okay. So if at all I'm using correct, I mean exact the thing, it might. So Tosca becomes little slow when you use less disk space because it takes lot space in the backend to run your test cases. Okay, so that is one major thing that we face most of the time. Integration problems. Yes, Tosca cannot be integrated with Git. Via, I mean, if at all, if you have to commit your code, so unlike development, so if a developer completes his code, he will directly push that code into the Git. Okay, Git repository. He'll save all the code into the Git repository. But in Tosca, it doesn't happen with Git repository, but it has its own repository where we store it. Okay. So if they ask you about if Tosca can be integrated with Git, Git cannot be integrated. But it has its own way of saving the scripts. Maintenance problems, yes, model-based test runner approach can lead to maintenance. I mean, it might lead, but not sure in what perspective they have given these advantages. According to me, it's very simple to use model based automation compared to code based. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of Tosca. Any questions still here? Okay. So I take it as a no, then we'll go to the next slide, architecture of Tosca. So this is one important question, one for sure short interview question. So if at all, if you say you are Tosca certified, so once you start with the interview, the first question will be, what are the important components of Tosca? What is the architecture of Tosca? Don't think this is visible, right? Architecture is visible, correct? Are you able to see the architecture properly? Let me try to pull it. Okay, so this is better than that, right? So this is the architecture of Tosca. So if you see, there's a commander, there's an executor, there's a repository, there's a wizard. Okay, so this commander is one place where you will be working with overall your Tosca journey. Okay, so if at all, if you have to write any test cases, develop any test cases, whatever you have to do, you do it in the Tosca commander. So Tosca commander will be responsible to talk with the executor. So whenever you have to run your test cases, so executor will come into the picture. Okay, so this is all the back end thing that happens. So executor will come into the picture and it will see what kind of engine. So if you are developing SAP, so it will take this SAP engine into a picture and it will start running all your test cases with the help of SAP. So if it is HTML, it will take help of HTML engine that is in the backend. So with that, it will try to do it. So if it is some other, so based on whatever the script that you write, so this Tosca executor will be responsible for that and it will execute your test cases. Okay. And coming to this license server will be responsible for your licenses. Okay, so if you have license or not, if to connect with the Tosca to get the license, this license server will be helpful for you to getting the license and all. Okay, so there's separate method that you get the license, we will see it. Okay, repository is a place where you store all your test cases. Okay, either your test cases, test data, whatever it might be, this is called a server side and this is called as client side. Okay, so this is a server where you can store all your test cases, test data, everything, whatever you want to play around. So everything, repository will be responsible for everything. Okay, so in the commander, so wizard is Tosca scan wizard will come into the picture whenever you have to create a model of your page, everything. So then it is called Tosca scan wizard will come into the picture. Okay, so in Tosca commander, when you open, you will see all these different sections. Okay, the first section is test case. So first section I would say modules. The second comes the test cases. Third comes the execution. Next comes the test case design, and the last comes the requirement. Okay, so this is a configuration. So this, however you want your test case to be built, so you configure your test case. So that is why it is called configure. So whatever, so these are the different tabs you see in the Tosca commander. Okay, so whenever you open Tosca, these are the things that you see. Okay, so this is called architecture of Tosca. Okay, so this is one interview question I have noted down. What are the major components of Tosca? So whatever you have seen just now, so those are the components of Tosca you talk it. So one being the commander, second being the executor, third being the wizard, fourth being the repository. Okay. So if you see, I told you, right, Tosca commander is a place where you design your test case, where you maintain your test case, where you execute your test case, and if you have to analyze your test case also, Tosca commander is one place where you do it. Okay, once you install also, you have to go here on your start button and say Tosca commander. Tosca commander will open. This is a fundamental component, or this is a foundation where you start building all your, I mean, everything. Okay, so See, I told you that you will be seeing all these test cases, modules, test case design, execution. So these are the different things you see when you open your Tosca command. Okay, requirements, everything is explained. Okay, so this is a model how you see the Tosca commander. So this is what I have also shown practically. It was just a screenshot for your reference. And Tosca executor. So Tosca executor is one thing where we can execute our test cases. So the executor not only from Tosca, from outside also you can see. Okay, so let us see. Okay, so now it is an inbuilt. Previously, you can see the executor this way, but now you cannot see it. You can just see it while you are executing a test case. You can see it on your machine itself. Okay. And Tosca Wizard, this was like when we started with Tosca. Wizard is one thing where you do object mapping and all. Like for every button or everything, you have to map your objects. Okay. So then Wizard would have played a very vital role in the starting stages. Even now, if you have to do any legacy, if you have to do any legacy application scanning, or if you have to automate any legacy applications, then this Wizard will come into the picture. Okay. So this is called Tosca Wizard and Tosca repository. I told you that Tosca repository is place where you can create your data, use your data, identify your data, modify your data. Everything can be done. Okay. So with the help of this Tosca repository, it's not like I'm tester one, someone is tester two, someone is tester three. After I enter the code, only then the tester do can work. No, it is not like that. Everyone simultaneously can do their testing and they can commit their codes to repository and they can use it whenever they want it. Okay, so this one also can be better explained and better understood once we start our practical. Okay, so not only this own repository that Tosca has, you can also share your external repositories. You can connect to Oracle server or SQL server, SQLite, any other to store your test cases or to store your data, anything. You can do it with the help of repository. Okay, so till now understood what are the components of Tosca? So if at all, if you have a question in the interview, you have to, so if they ask you what are the major components of Tosca, you should be able to answer it as commander, executor, wizard, and repository. So commander is a place where the foundation of the test case happens. Executor is a place with the help of executor only our test case starts executing. Wizard is like for scanning and all, wizard will come into the picture, and a repository is a place where we store our data to connect our data, use our data, anything. Repository is one such place. Okay, understood till here? Okay, all right. So in our, in our all the sessions, like this is the application that we'll be using throughout. So I'll just copy paste this link over here. You can just try it. So can you all quickly open this?
Manasa, just one.
Yeah, Vasanthi, please go ahead.
Yeah. So, Wizard like a kind of console, or what does it exactly do?
Yeah, Wizard is not kind of console, but it will help us to capture the model. Okay, so you'll get to move. You'll get to understand Wizard more in the next classes. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So can you all quickly open this demo webshop.recentis.com? So this is one website which is developed by Recentis only for us to understand the basic concepts of Tosca, like to have to run with AS1 and AS2. This is very good example. So they have incorporated each and every element like a button, a link, and a drop down or checkbox. Everything is incorporated very easily for us to automate. To do our first end-to-end automation, this is very helpful for us. So that is why most of the people, if you see for Tosca, they will take only this demo web shop for our first building of a test case. Okay, so everyone, I would request everyone to open this and start registering here. So click on this register, give the details, first name, last name, whatever the email that you give, please remember it can be any email, whatever the email you want to give, you can give it, but please do remember the email and password, because that will be the one we'll be using for the entire course. Okay, so can you all quickly do it for me? I'll give you just 3 or 4 minutes of your time. If you're not comfortable talking, just give me a thumbs up so that I would understand.
And so could you please share the URL of this?
Yeah, I have shared in the chat of this Go chat. Did you all get it? Or no?
No.
In the chat, were you not able to see this link?
Yeah, I'm doing the registration over here.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abhishek. Thanks, Swapnil. Thank you for your response. One, two, three, four, five. Five responses.
It's done from my side.
Yeah, thanks, Abhishek. Six. It's all done. I get only 7 or 8 responses. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 responses. I have 21 people, only 10 responses. And also today, just try to go through this demo web shop. How is it? How is the functionality? What is the register functionality? What is happening after login? What is happening after you add some products into the cart? So how is the application acting? So please do just an R&D. It will hardly take 5 to 10 minutes of your time, so that it will be helpful for you to start your test case building. Okay. So that is one task for you for today. Okay. Okay, so now we'll anyways tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll be having our Tosca tool on our machine. Okay, so try to understand what is this model-based test approach, how is this model-based test approach will work. Okay, so model is nothing but the page. Okay, so if you see this page, so if at all, if I have to automate, so for suppose my first test cases, I have to click on this register button. First, I have to launch this page. So then I have to click on this register link. I have to do the registration and click on this register. Okay. So to do all those things, what should Tosca know? What should Tosca have for me to build a test case? So what should all the things I should have so that Tosca will understand what all the things I have to perform? Can anyone tell me?
It should have the list of objects or elements that we are supposed to identify and automate. So it should.
Yeah, so Tosca should know it has to interact with this application first of all, and second of all, it has to know it has to click on this register. So it has to go and do this basic operations like it has to select some checkbox, write some information on the first name, text box, last name, everything. Okay, so it should have all these things saved somewhere in Tosca. Only then you can start building your test cases. Okay, so in Selenium, you write page object model or something like that, but here you create a model. So model is nothing but module, whatever you see here. Okay. So what happens in Tosca is before you go get inside this model, you have to understand one basic concept called scanning. Okay, so that is what here it is written. So to get to know present is Tosca, it is a one. So if you have to navigate your system under test. Okay, so whatever the application that we are using, this demo web shop can be called as system under test or application under test. Okay, as we are doing this application testing, so it is called application under test or system under test. So here, if you say you have to enter something, save something, enter some value into the text boxes. So these are all should be somewhere stored in Tosca. Okay. So to store it, first you have to create a model. So to create a model, you have to scan that particular page. Okay. So scanning is a basic thing that you have to understand. So after you scan, then comes into the picture called modules. Okay. So whatever here you are seeing is called modules. Okay, and the next comes the test cases. To build a test case, you have to have a module created. So to create a module, you take help of the scanning. Understood? Understood? Any questions here? Okay, I take it as a no. What is basic? What is a basic thing of scanning? So how scanning happens? What happens when you do a scan? Okay, scanning is nothing but a basic thing. So it is like how Tosca has to interact with this particular control. Okay, so whatever here you are seeing these elements like link or some text box, these are called controls. Okay, so it will identify the controls. So you have to identify the controls which you want for your test case, and you have to just select that control and save it in your model. Okay, so you want to steer your controls. You have, for instance, you have to click on a button or verify a data in the data table or type enter something on that in text field. Okay, so what you do, you have to have this technical information stored somewhere. Okay, so very suppose, okay, so there are two or three more links of register here. Okay, so Tosca has to know what register link it has to look. So for that, what happens whenever you scan, right, it will capture each and every individual element's technical information. Okay, suppose I'm trying to capture register, so in the back end it will save all the technical information whatever is given while developing this page. So it will grab all those information, it will save it in your scan in your module and use it. So whatever the operation that you give on your test case level, it will go and perform it. Okay, so if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you're not able to get it is completely fine. I'll explain it once again. So once you start your Tosca, you'll understand it more clearly. But how much ever you are able to digest this, try to digest it. Okay. So I'll show you how to do that. So that is so. So when I start scanning this application, so what happens? Tosca will try to capture all the technical informations of what all the things I wanted to store in my module. So once I store it in the module, so this is how it is stored in my module. Okay, so let me show you the basic. So this is a register page. Okay, so if you see, this is a register page. So these are the different elements that I stored as a part of this module, like male, female checkbox, first name, last name, email, password, confirm password, and register. Okay. So how is this module created? This module is created with the help of scanning that I have done. Okay. Okay, so once I do a scan, I can capture this module, I can save it in my module, and once I have this module, I can reuse it n number of times in my test cases. So here you only capture the technical information, but whatever the business information that you have to give, you give it on your test case level. So what is business information? Suppose I have to write something on this first name text box. So whatever the input that I have to give, the input whatever you are giving is called business information. Thus business information you will give it on a test case level, not on your module. Okay, so that is what is scanning is, that is what is module is, that is how you create your test case. Okay, so understood? Any questions here?
Manasa, just one question here. So this elements that you have created here, right? I mean, these are auto scanned, or you created it and then you have added the actions against each of them. How is
I
it?
have to I have to select it because I have to create my test case, right? I should know what all the things that I need for my test case. So I'll be selecting all these things, what all that. So in the page, so what all the things that I need, I'll just select it. I'll capture it in my module.
Okay.
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 This is just an overview. Don't worry. You will get more information in the later stages of the class. But first, try to understand. So you have to get acquainted with the scanning word, you have to get acquainted to with the module word, you have to get acquainted to this test case module. Okay, so then you will get to understand everything easily. Okay, for now try to understand what is scanning, what is module, what is test case. Okay, yeah, that is what modules are, the building blocks of your test cases. They contain technical information of Tosca to navigate from one system to other. So if you see here, it is clearly mentioned. So we'll talk about framework in the next classes. See, so this is called model-based test approach. Okay, so what are you doing in the model-based testing approach? You are selecting a model. So what is a model for me here? It is a web application. So here I select a web application as my model. I'll try to capture all whatever is needed for my test case. All this information, technical information is captured in my module in the form of a model inside the module. So once I have this module ready, so I'll just pass it on to my test case folder. In the test case folder, I give all the business information. Okay, so that is called as model based testing approach. Okay, so understood what is model-based testing approach? You create a model first, then you use, so that model will have all the technical information. So that model you will be using throughout your test cases to build your test cases. Like you give all the technical information or business information inside your test cases so that it you can create your test cases for your future purpose. Okay, yeah. So that's it I have planned for today. I don't want to, overload you with all the concepts today itself. In tomorrow's session, we'll learn more about Tosca, all the architecture, what are the distributed execution, all those things. What is risk-based testing, all those things. Some of the key features of Tosca. We'll talk about all those things in tomorrow's session. Okay. So for today, we have understood what is model-based testing approach and what are the advantages and disadvantages of Tosca and what are the differences between the open source tool Selenium and what is a paid source tool Tosca. Okay. So if you have any questions, we can take up the questions now. Okay, fine. So I hope you have no questions. If you have no questions, we can wind up today's session. Thank you so much for joining today's session. Have a very nice day ahead. Bye bye. Yeah, how to scan and all, we will learn and understand in the next session stream. Yeah, Abhishek, go ahead. You have a question.
Yeah, how we can log into the Tosca Academy just for going through what we had gone through today?
You cannot, I mean, go through the academy now itself. Okay, I'll guide you in the next two classes. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow class, I can help you out how to access the academy. Okay, so it will be explained. For today, you just understand, get the topics. That's it.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. No. Okay, all right. So thank you so much for joining today's session. Have a very nice day ahead. Have a very nice, great evening ahead. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.